When you were talking, you mentioned, I believe it was serfs in one of your answers, and it kind of brought back one of the words you use in this book to describe Nigeria as a feudal state. And I've read two of your books now, and this one, Imperatives of the Nigerian Revolution. I really enjoyed this one, in my opinion, compared to the one on the judiciary. But just that's my own opinion anyway. I've not read the third one. I couldn't find it on Amazon for whatever reason. It wasn't available. But hopefully I was some point by, because I really enjoyed reading your book. I love the way you write. But what do you mean by Nigeria being a feudal state? Something that was referenced in this particular book quite a lot.
Earlier in my life, I read English language and linguistics as a course. I didn't finish it, but it left me with a lifelong predilection for linguistic exactitude. If you use words, I expect the words to mean what the native speaker of the words intended for it to mean. I know as a fact that you cannot have a democracy where the rule of law does not exist. I also know as a fact that the historical basis of Nigeria's existence is found in feudalism. When the white man came to Nigeria, there were two Islamic empires already in existence in this space called Nigeria today. You had the Kanem Borno Empire, and you also had the Sokoto Caliphate. Both were feudal. Feudalism talks about the acceptable non-equality of social classes. So you have the serfs and you have the rulers. And in between, you have those who serve the rulers. That is what Nigeria is today. I know that it sometimes sounds very difficult for people to wrap their brains around this concept. But when you consider that what began as a Fulani construct has jumped ship, it has jumped host. The rulers of Ala Igbo are not Fulanis. But the situation in Ala Igbo is not different from what you find in the land of the Fulanis.
That's correct, yes.
The governors in Yoruba land, they are not Fulanis. But the situation in Yoruba land is not different from what you'd find in the Fulani feudal construct. So you have rulers who are unelected by those who should be citizens. But you cannot have citizens where you do not have the protection of equality of law. Yes. So if the law does not rule, and you cannot have citizens, you cannot have a democracy, but you still have some semblance of governance that pretends to be a democracy. But when you break it down properly, you find that it is a constitutional feudal state where the judiciary does exactly as the executive demands. And when I say the executive, I'm talking about the presidency. Where the president does exactly as he cares, even when it is obviously in contradiction to the position of the Constitution. I warrant that the National Assembly would sanction this madness. I think it's section 315 or 305, whichever one they are using for their impeachment, for their state of emergency. Yes. It provides that the National Assembly would have to endorse what the president has done. That is assuming he had even acted within his powers, which he hasn't. But this toothless Congress of baboons will do exactly as they are told by the time Akpabio is done transferring prayers to their boxes. And you will call that a democracy. It's not a democracy. We are not in a democracy. The reality is that Nigeria is a feudal state. It's a modern iteration of a feudal state. It's just that they are dishonest and not proud to have to own up to what it is. It's not a democracy.
No, I do agree. Definitely agree. I mean, there's no one can't look at Nigeria and call Nigeria a democracy. It's not even possible at all.